Hey everybody, I'm John Granado. That's Lance Zerline. You can hear us mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Lance, the draft is here, okay? Well, it's still a couple months away.
Yeah.
But the Texans have decisions to make in free agency now. Do you think Caserio shoots a shot with a big free agent like Edmonds or Davenport, or spends the money and spreads it around? I wouldn't mind a big free agent.
No, I think he might get a splash free agent. I think he wants, you know what? I don't know that I would spread it around. I think that I would get one splash and maybe a couple fill-ins.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to get somebody who fits DeMeco Ryans' defense. More than anything, you're going to really be transitioning from one type of defense, which is Lovey's, which is up the field, to bigger, longer guys who are a different body type with DeMeco Ryans. So I think, honestly, you may have to buy one of those guys for sure.
I wouldn't mind Davenport. I wouldn't mind a big listen, if there's one, the weakest position on the field right now is defensive line. I don't think the wide receiver needs some work, but Mechie's coming back. I think their weakest position is defensive line and getting a big name that can actually rush the passer. Maybe Okoronkwo on one side and him on the other. Maybe Jonathan Grenard is actually going to play a full season. We'll see. But that would be a nice start. And won't DeMeco draw some free agents?
I think so. I think there's a chance. You know, I mean, you got a chance to come in and play right away. The Texans have some money. You know, there's some things that I think people are going to like, but there's just, like I said, there's a certain kind of player he's going to want to get, and you need to have that if his defense is going to be successful. So I would say making sure that your 3 down linemen are taken care of, that you have the right kind of guys, whether through the draft, and it could be middle round guys, could be earlier, it could be day 2, or it could be day, they don't go quarterback, it'll be in the first round, you'll get one of those guys. But having those guys is important, and it may take free agency. I think it's going to take free agency for at least one of those positions. At least one. The
Texans are going to be more attractive, hopefully, and instead of the Christian Kirksey's and whatnot, get a free agent name. Get somebody that we can sink our teeth into. Mel Kiper's latest mock draft has the Texans trading up to number 1 with the Bears in a trade similar to Trubisky. You flip the first, okay, and then you give up the 3rd and 4th rounders and next year's 3rd rounder. You okay with that package?
I mean,
it's a little much.
For me, it's a little much. But I mean, I'm trying to think like I'm the Texans, and if they really, really want to look, it's never too much if you get a quarterback who leads you to greatness. There's no price tag that's too much if you get that. But so now you got to ask yourself, it's kind of, if you could say, or do you like Bryce Young? And a lot of people would say, yeah, I love Bryce Young. Okay. Do you think he will lead you to greatness? Because if you do, then you pay this amount of money. But if you balk at that price tag, then you don't really think he's going to lead you to greatness. Because if you knew greatness was coming, you wouldn't worry about it.
You'd give that up.
The Rams, F those picks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't care about that because they got there.
Well, but they also had a lot more talent than the Texans have, and you need depth on this football team.
Yeah, that's true.
2/3 and a 4th, what's that worth? Is that better than going with Indianapolis to the 4th pick and a first rounder next year? Or would you rather have the Texans?
You'd rather have a first rounder next year.
Yeah. But you got to drop to number 4 too. And if they love Jalen Carter, or Will Anderson, then they might lose them at number 4. So with the Texans, they're guaranteed to get that guy that they want defensively.
Yeah, if that's what their board looks like. But once again, it's always very important to stress, teams' draft boards look a lot of times vastly different than other teams or than the media might have it. So they could have Tyree Wilson ahead of Will Anderson. They could have, Will McDonald from Iowa State way up the list, and they'd be willing to trade all the way back to 7 and get him because they think, he's one of the best rushers and most underrated rushers. Like, you never know how teams see it because teams can see it way, way different. We work off of a consensus based on what the media is saying.
Yeah.
But teams view guys differently. They have character stuff on these players, good and bad. They have medical information on these guys. And then there's always fits for offenses and defenses. So it's going to be I still believe that Houston will do what it takes to get Bryce Young, but I don't think they're going to go crazy. I don't think they're going to. Nick can't go crazy. I just don't think that can be the case. And right now, Chicago's trying to drum up everything they do is to get other people interested in the pick.
We're seeing a lot of people complain about the Texans moving up and giving up picks, but I think third rounders and fourth rounders, I think the fan base would be okay with that.
A lot
yeah,
better
a lot better.
Yeah.